What's going on? This is the Marvelous One, the Stockman. Hey, I want to talk with you today about Bitcoin. Bitcoin. I do more than just swing in and out of different stocks. You know, I also invest in Bitcoin. I invest in Ethereum, Solana. I invest in a lot of cryptocurrency. But today I want to talk about the big dog. The big dog is Bitcoin. I've been investing in Bitcoin, ever since 2017, ever since Coinbase opened up an exchange. But I've been studying Bitcoin ever since around 2015, right? Uh, the years of studying on Bitcoin. And I'm going to tell you this Bitcoin is now mainstream because Wall Street is finally catching on. Back in 2017 and 2016, really before 2017, Wall Street thought that Bitcoin was one big joke, right? And that's the way they play working class people. They always want you to come to the party last. But on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, us retail investors, we were first. We were able to get positioned in Bitcoin. And during that whole time, right, Wall Street kept telling you and telling your financial planners and anybody that had a Series 6,000 license that don't touch that stuff. Bitcoin is for criminals, it's for money laundering. This is what they told you. They told you this for years. But what you didn't know is why they were telling you this. Companies like BlackRock, the biggest investment firm in the world, has billions and billions of dollars under management. Larry Fink, uh, Jamie Dimon of J.P. Morgan, they were out telling the people, don't you touch that Bitcoin. It's bad. Don't mess with it, right? But the whole time they were building their infrastructure, right? So now if you look at Bitcoin today, yes, it's pulled back, but it's at an all-time high. It went over $125,000 a coin. Now I've been preaching and talking about Bitcoin uh, really ever since 2017 when I made my first investment into Bitcoin. And the reason why I did that is because Bitcoin is the best performing asset and has been the best performing asset over the last 5 years. I got the numbers to show you. I got my computer up right here, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to take a look here. You compare Bitcoin with the S&P 500. Most of your 401 money is in the S&P 500, rather through mutual funds, index funds, or ETFs. The vast majority of your money is part of the S&P 500 because it's the top 500 companies on the stock market, right? So we're going to pair Bitcoin to the S&P 500, right? And I'll use the ETF SPY. SPY is the stock ticker that tracks the S&P 500. So I have it right up here on my charts. Let's take a look here. Over the last 5 years, Bitcoin is up 969% over the last 5 years. The S&P 500, which is the vast majority of where your 401 money is, the vast majority of where your financial planner have your money, is tracking or in the S&P 500, like I said, through mutual funds, through index funds, or through ETFs, right? The S&P 500 over the last five years has returned 93%. So you do the math. Bitcoin, which they told you, don't you touch it, don't you mess with it, it's bad for you. Now you got the president of the United States has a vast majority of his wealth in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Now you have BlackRock, like I said, the largest financial investment firm in the world. You have J.P. Morgan, the largest bank in the world. they are all buying up Bitcoin, right? So that's why I tell people all the time. A lot of times they trick you and they trick us, right? They don't want us to know this stuff, right? So this is why I'm trying to come out and have general conversations with people, because these are the conversations we don't have because we don't understand this stuff. It's not rocket science. But if you want to make money, if you want to put your money to work where you can start getting these type of returns, I mean, look at that. Over the last 5 years, if you'd have put $1,000 or $500 or even $100 in Bitcoin, you would have returned 9 times your money, almost 10 times your money, right? Versus the S&P 500, which is the top 500 stocks on the market, 93%. You do the math. You do the math. Hey, this is not financial advice. Hey, I'm just a guy that grew up, came from the hood, didn't understand Wall Street. Always wondered why, when I was a kid, watching certain movies, that the big money was made by people who had on suits and ties and went to this place called Wall Street. So I was always interested in Wall Street, but I never knew how it worked, right? So now I took the time over the past 14, 15 years. I put in almost like 21,000 hours because I used to study for 4.5 hours every day. So this is why I know this stuff. Don't think I know everything, but I know enough to understand that we've been hoodwinked. They don't teach this stuff in school. If they do teach it in schools, it's in private schools. It's in schools that have a lot of money. But everyday people like us, they don't want us to know this, right? So yeah, don't want to keep this video long, going on a little rant, because I know that everyday people are missing out. Everyday people have missed out on the beginning of Bitcoin. But I'm here to tell you, this is just my personal opinion. And I'm a true Bitcoin believer, because I seen it at 3,000, and I was telling people way back at 3,000, better get you some Bitcoin. Put your money in Bitcoin. I was telling people it was going to go to 100,000. I got laughed at. I'm sure people talked about me behind my back. But you gotta know, and you got to understand, that you can't believe everything that you hear on TV, that you can't believe gatekeepers, right? You got to educate yourself. You got to learn this stuff, because moving forward, if you listen to gatekeepers, if you follow in the false narrative news, it may keep you way behind when it comes to putting your money to work and growing your money. So yeah, Bitcoin. And what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a store of value. And I'm not going to sit up here and tell people, what Bitcoin is. What I do want to tell you is Google Bitcoin. Spend 2 hours, spend 15 minutes. Google what is Bitcoin, right? Get educated on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the best performing asset over the last 5 years. Nothing can touch Bitcoin. 900% over almost 1,000% return over the last 5 years. Hey, my next video, we're going to talk about another one called Ethereum. I'm also invested in Ethereum, been in Ethereum same time since 2017. So we're going to talk about that next time, right? Hey, I hope you're liking these videos. I'm trying to educate people, just having a general conversation. Conversations that working class people, we don't talk about this stuff. They don't want us to talk about it. They don't want you to know about it. But I'm trying to have a conversation with you. Hey, if you're ready to get coached, if you're ready to learn more, I do one-on-one coaching. I can walk you through the steps. I can get you started. But one thing I will not and cannot do is give you financial advice. I can only tell you what I'm doing. Hey, you know how this goes. I'm the marvelous one, the stock man. Peace.